Acknowledged by the board chair, each person will be limited to 2 minutes. And please adhere to that to make his or her remarks. Speakers will address all comments to the board as a whole and not one individual commissioner. The board may not take action on an item presented during the public comment period unless the item is already on the agenda for action. When appropriate, the board may refer inquiries and items brought up during the public comment period to the county administrator for follow-up. Is there anyone wishing to make public comment?
I'd like to. Good evening, commissioners. My name is Matt Sennett. I'm at 2519 Stony Creek Drive, here on behalf of myself and obviously residents in the neighborhood in the North Country subdivision. This is obviously in regards to the east side corridor. Just wanted to bring up a few things that kind of voice some reason around our frustrations there, as multiple times we've asked for information with regard to the corridor and why it's being considered at 29th. And I think, again, just kind of reiterating our concerns and what we've been feeling from others that we try to get information from is we're being told, well, we just don't know until we get the study back. The problem with that is when we look at what the study is covering, it's covering the exact same thing, and I know we discussed this a little last meeting, or it was addressed last meeting. It's discussing the same concerns the previous studies have had with 29th Avenue. Multiple studies have already been done, and we're not really understanding why those, nothing's really changed for the better. In fact, things have changed for the worse as far as 29th Avenue, and that's because now a development of 150 homes is right there on that right-of-way. So that's what's changed since the last studies have been done. And the last studies have recommended, well, first off, 1995 study recommended that all future right-of-ways, including 29th, be preserved, and that was ignored by the city. And it was ignored by the county, and then, the 2004 study indicates that, MnDOT indicated that 34th is being recommended, and after that study, then you see this corridor, this right-of-way being given back to the city, which indicates to the public and to us as well that this isn't a good idea to build here. And so there's just a lot of inconsistencies with these studies, and I think that's our biggest frustration, is we're not getting answers as to what's the plan when we're waiting on this study that's studying the exact same thing that's been studied before and it's been determined is not feasible. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak?
As Matt said, we know this information.
Name and address.
Oh, sorry. Melissa Zimmerman, 2525 Stony Creek Drive. Again, east side corridor. As Matt said, we know this information. After our last meeting, I sent a follow-up email with the information in that 1999 environmental report. We have several more documents just like this one that have the environmental information in it. I left that with an open invitation to have a meeting should anyone want to go over more, and thus far I've not heard anything since. From the 1995 report, we know additional things like the projected traffic growth from new development is not expected to relieve much from the downtown traffic with this alternate, referring to the 29th corridor. This is due to the fact that the drivers from future developments close to existing city limits are not as likely to go out of their way to use the bypass. This hasn't changed. We also know from 1995 that the projected ADT volumes of alternate B range from 2,000 north of 14 to 7,300 vehicles between Dane Road and Rose Street. Today they're saying 5,000 vehicles. With the city growing, how did we lose vehicles traveling on the road? Again, inconsistencies. We also know from 1995 that this alternate route had the most land acquisition that needed to happen, and it also disrupted the most wetlands, and is the only route that had design concerns. Again, why did we eliminate other routes when this one wasn't the best option? We are really hoping for more communication around things such as the studies going on. As it stands, we're told the studies are happening and noise studies should be happening around our neighborhood. when noise studies happen, those around them should be notified, not just those whose property is being accessed, anyone within the vicinity. And we've not been made aware of any of the studies happening, which makes us wonder if they are happening, or if communication just isn't happening. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for keeping it within the time limit. Anyone else wishing to speak? Okay, thank you. Okay, next thing on the agenda, there's a bunch of correspondence in your packet. Is there anything you need to speak to there, Scott?
Nothing, Mr. Chair.
Okay.
Everybody knows we've got things across the hills here.
Okay, and consent agenda. What are the board's wishes?
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion we approve the consent agenda as presented.
Okay, is there a second? Second, Mr. Leamy. Okay, any other comments, anything anybody wishes to talk about? Okay, thank you. All those in favor of approving the consent agenda signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Under general, number 15, September anniversary report. So Gina's up tonight.
Good evening, commissioners, here to recognize our